All right, everyone, and welcome back into the cave for another episode of Montreal Monday. Woo, it's been one heck of a week. but we are back for another live show as we continue to follow our Montreal Expos, hopefully on their way to hopefully a playoff berth this year. Really hoping we can get something going here with this club. Had a fun one last week. Actually got to see the team win a couple of games as well as name a few players. So quite the interesting week we had last week. So we're going to kind of get this going pretty quick tonight. As usual, we've got our live scores going on the bottom of the screen. So if you're a college basketball fan, we got those rolling over there on the right. As you can see, Arizona's up on Iowa State right now. Idaho is beating Eastern Washington. And, of course, we've got our NHL scores rolling by at the same time. So if you need to keep an eye on those, they will be up on the screen as we roll. In case you are wondering, yes, my New York Islanders have been playing very well, especially the last couple of nights, and they are heading our way this week. So they'll be in sunny Southern California taking on the Anaheim Ducks on Wednesday night, a game I wish I could be going to, but got some important stuff to be doing at work. And then, of course, Thursday they'll be taking on the Los Angeles Kings. But that is hockey, and this, my friends, of course, is a baseball show. So we are going to be jumping right into some Montreal Expos Nation play here on the episode shortly. So if you are joining me live tonight, welcome on in. If you're picking me up on the replay, of course, welcome. Be sure to throw some comments, like the episode, and subscribe to the channel. After last week's fun, we did get quite a few subscribers, so big thanks to those of you who commented last week and got the fanatic going. So here we are inside the show. We're going to go ahead and kind of get into things pretty quick. Last week we left off with the Expos. We were in the month of July, and we had just finished up with our unfortunate, well, I wouldn't call it an unfortunate month. We didn't do too bad. Coming away with a 59-49 record, just about 10 games over 500. So not awful, but not great. After we finished up last week, we did get to see a little bit of the All-Star game, as much as I was actually focused, because I really wasn't too focused with some of the comments and some of the stuff going on. So, but hopefully we can stay a little more focused this evening. We should probably see, I think we already saw the trade deadline, or we have the trade deadline coming up. So we could be making some moves there. Of course, this team was decimated by injuries right after we made some big trades. We did lose Ricky Henderson earlier in the season. Yeah, that saddened me quite a bit. Of course, we traded for Bartolo Colon. We traded for John Rocker, and we lost both of those guys within about 2 weeks of having them here in our virtual world. So hopefully we'll get one of them back at some point as we start to make our playoff push here in the month of August. Now, hopefully, if we can tonight, we'll try to get through most of the season. I'm thinking we might be able to get through most of the season and see if we can't get this team into a playoff scenario here on the show. So once again, I'd like to welcome you in. We'll be playing here for probably about an hour and 30 minutes or so, unless we carry over. If you are joining, you're live, you're listening, feel free to throw any comments down there in the comments or in the chat, and we will get the show on the road. So, of course, first things first, what we like to look at before we get rolling, we will take a look at our current lineups. So you can see against right-handed pitching, we'll go with no DH because, of course, we play with no DH here on the show. Remember, this is 2000. This is the year 2000. We started this exercise in 1998, so there was no DH in the National League, so our pitchers were still hitting. Of course, that kind of hurts this team from time to time, but, it is what it is, right? Okay, so we have at shortstop and batting first will be Orlando Cabrera. Kilvio Veras is back in the lineup after a short injury stint. He'll be playing second base and batting second. At first base and batting third, we have Mark Grace. He is currently on fire. The man has a .339 batting average, 18 dingers, and 69 RBI. So he's been playing pretty well here for the club. Ken Griffey Jr. will be playing center field. He's batting fourth. Now, we could be flip-flopping him with Vlad as we go through the episode. We know that he has his ups and his downs, but he has had a very productive season here for the Expos in the 2000 season. We are 3 years into this. So we've played 98, had a terrible season, played 99, almost made the playoffs, and here we are in the year 2000 in our world. So Ken Griffey Jr. will be batting fourth for this club. He's batting .294 with 22 homers and 70 RBIs. Vlad Guerrero will bat fifth. He's batting .283 with 15 home runs and 61 RBIs. Sung Hyun Chu will bat sixth and will probably be platooning with Tim Raines, the 40-year-old backup left fielder. Sung Hyun, he's batting .214 with 2 homers and 26 RBIs. Charlie Hayes, who, of course, we picked up in free agency at the end of the 98 season. He's been with us this is his second season now. He's batting .249 with 11 homers and 34 RBIs, and he'll bat seventh. Pudge Rodriguez will bat eighth. .241 average, 5 homers, and 21 RBIs. So this team has been on a bit of a decline, but we'll see what we can get out of them. Of course, the pitcher will bat in the 9th spot. So hopefully we can get something going here in the episode. I know I say that a lot, right? Hopefully we can get something going, but really, truthfully, hopefully we can have a more successful month of August with some more victories. That would be good here on the show. Okay, of course, we want to take a look at our current rotation. So this is our current pitching rotation that we're going to see through the episode. Boomer Wells is number 1, followed by Mike Mussina, Trey Moore, Javi Vasquez, and Kenny Rogers. Right now, the most successful pitcher on the staff is Javi Vasquez, 11-5 on the season, a 3.73 ERA. So the ERA doesn't really show it, but he's got 11 wins and 5 losses. Mussina's not bad either, but he's got 9 unfortunate losses. Boomer has struggled, but has pitched better as of late. So we'll have to see what he can get done here in the episode. We do have our couple of additions here in the bullpen. Of course, Eric Gagne, we picked him up in a trade. Greg Swindell will be a long reliever. Mike Maddox, more of that veteran support out of the bullpen. Jeff Nelson, Scott Shields, Shane Bennett, Alan Embry is our new setup man with John Rocker going down. And, of course, Trevor Hoffman, who is 2-5 on the season, and his ERA is up over 2. So we'll have to see if he can get something going here in the episode as well. Okay, so we're going to roll right into this, heading to the calendar, and we'll start simulating some games. We are, to start the episode right here at 7:23 p.m. Pacific time, the Expos are 59-49. So mark that down. We're going to see where we are after we get through about a month, and hopefully we start to make some moves. Standings-wise, of course, the wild card is what's most important to this club. We are not going to catch the Braves. It is not going to happen. We really have to try to get a wild card spot. So we're going to simulate weeks, and then we'll jump back and take a look at where we stand in the wild card standings. Okay, so our first series of the episode, we will be taking on the Baltimore Orioles, who are 58-50 heading into the series. And they are, I believe, a wild card team in the American League. So this is going to be a good test for the Expos. We will follow that up with 3 against the Seattle Mariners, who are 56-53. Then the Phillies, who are a lowly 39-70. And you know how it goes when the Expos take on teams with a losing record. Yeah, that's right. We usually get dumped pretty hard. So hopefully we can get a couple wins in that Philly series. We then head to Minnesota for a 3-game set against the 47-62 Minnesota Twins, followed by a 3-game set with the Toronto Blue Jays, who are currently sitting second in the American League East behind the Yankees. We'll get Houston for 3 more a team that has been a thorn in our side. We have 3 against the New York Yankees. These are at home, so this is going to be great. I'm looking forward to a series with the Yankees, 73-37. And then we've got the Philadelphia Phillies, the Atlanta Braves for 4, and then we'll finish up the month of August in New York against the Mets. So we're going to have quite the month. You can see we've got the Yankees, we've got the Mets, we've got the Braves. So we want a winning month of August, but the Braves and the Yankees are definitely going to make that tough. And let's not count out the Toronto Blue Jays, because we know they're playing very well as of late here in our world. So we got a question from out there in the nation, and let's see. The junior GM, he's asking, what is the topic for tonight? So I was thinking about that on my way to work today, and I think we're going to talk a little bit. Obviously, it's a baseball show, so I like to keep it baseball oriented. Of course, I do focus on my hockey scores down there as well, but we are going to talk baseball Mount Rushmore, okay? If you know what I mean by that, if you're jumping in here and you're listening live, what's your baseball Mount Rushmore? Who are your top 3 favorite players? And the way we're going to do this is we're going to go, you got to have 1 pitcher, you got to have 1 outfielder, and you got to have 1 infielder. That's going to be our baseball Mount. Well, is there 4 people on Mount Rushmore? Yeah, I don't even know. I'm not the historical type, right? I'm pretty sure, right? Isn't it like, I don't even want to say the names because I'll probably end up being wrong. It's like Washington and Lincoln, and I don't know. Name the other ones, feel free. But yeah, I think we're going to go with our baseball Mount Rushmore. So basically, we're just going to be rattling off our favorite players. The other one that I thought of on my way to work, I actually had the pleasure of meeting a hero of mine from when I was a young baseball fan today. Got to see that he's actually doing pretty well. So, tell me about maybe a time maybe you got to meet one of your heroes, or whether it be a baseball player, a golfer, a hockey player, whatever it was. Anybody. It could be anybody. I'd love to hear about that kind of stuff here inside. Of course, once we get the ball rolling, we start talking about all sorts of different stuff. So, but we are going to get the baseball underway right now. We're going to take on the Baltimore Orioles. Okay. And our first game of the episode, we've got Javi Vasquez, who is 11-5 right now, taking on Paul Dillard. I don't know if Paul Dillard's a real guy, but feel free to Google him. I'm not even sure if he is real, because, of course, a lot of these guys are now becoming more generated here inside the game. So who knows? And we're going to quick sim. Of course, we'll watch Sunday Night Baseball, and we will work together, hopefully as GM, junior GM, on Sunday Night Baseball with the management. So we're going to quick sim this one. And do I want to stop? No, I don't want to stop. Okay, so we do have a trade to discuss. So the Giants have acquired Darren Erstad. So that's a blast from the past, right? The Giants get Darren Erstad from the Angels for Johnny Mamula and Juan Acosta. So congratulations to Darren Erstad. You're moving over to the Giants, who, of course, we couldn't hold off last year. So today is the trade deadline. So welcome on in. So if you are the junior GM or the GM, this is our last chance to make any sort of deals. I did not expect this to happen so early in the episode because I really wasn't paying much attention to what was going on. We did get a win in that game, by the way. So congratulations to the Expos on a 60-win season. We got there here 1 game into tonight's episode. So we have got the opportunity to make some moves. Let's go ahead, and first of all, we're going to take a look at the trade block, because that's probably the most important thing to look at. So if you are a regular on the show and you have some thoughts as to what we can do with the team, I have nobody currently on the block. I haven't even thought to do that, but we're going to kind of cruise through the actual block if I can get back to it. There we go. So here's what we got out there on the block. And I don't know if we want to make any moves, but Andy Ashby from the Orioles, Eddie Perez, Derek Lowe. He's a pitcher. Look, he's 8-6 right now, 4.66 ERA. Sean Casey, Steve Traxel, Andrew Cordero, Mike Stanley. He's a first baseman, but we got it. We got Mark Grace, so I don't think we really want to make a move there. Will Clark. Will Clark is batting .270 with 7 home runs and 30 RBIs, and we can't look at him. I don't think we can actually look at the player. Oh, we can. Okay, so Will Clark, he's 36 years old. I don't think he'd really help us right now, unless we brought him in for like a backup or a DH. Can he play any other positions? No, plus he's hurt. He's on the block with a torn ACL, 6+ months. So no, we're not going to be going after Will Clark. Dimitri Young, Jason Varitek. Oh, there you go. Jason Varitek, who we know becomes something else for the Red Sox. In this world, he's 28 years old. He's a 71 overall. B potential, and he's currently down in the minors. But look at this contract. He's making $15.6 million a year. And he's currently in the minors for the Red Sox. Yeah, so they're trying to dump him. Francisco Cordova. I don't see anybody in here that really says, trade for me. Aaron Seeley, Ed Sprague, Rico Brogna. Yeah, you know what? You're sitting in a room by yourself, man. Raul Ibanez. Oh, okay. Where was he? Did I miss him? Is he up here? Raul Ibanez. Oh, he's not on here. So you're just telling me I should trade for him, huh? How about AJ Pierzynski? Now, we don't really need another catcher, right? What do we really need? I guess that's the real question. What do we need? Think about it. We need a left fielder. We do need a solid left fielder, right? Is that what Raul Ibanez plays? I don't know. But let's go ahead. We're going to take a look. We'll search for Raul Ibanez, right? And we'll see if we can't do something for Raul Ibanez. Because my junior GM is probably he's always got the best ideas, and it usually seems to work out. So let's see if we can't find Raul Ibanez. Of course, we could bring up our new stud, right? So he plays left field. Okay, Mr. Feeney, thank you. Yeah, I kind of figured that because we're kind of weak in left field. Center field, we're good. Right field, we're good. I feel like first base with Mark Grace, we're okay. Second base, shortstop, kind of weak, but third base is also a weak spot. And catcher has not been hot. All right, we did the Pudge thing, and that didn't work out. But I don't know if we want to make a move there. But we could get a little stronger at third base as well. So let's go ahead and see if we can't find Raul Ibanez. Okay, there he is. Raul Ibanez is with the Astros right now. He's a 62 overall. And this has him playing first base. Okay, he's a first baseman, a left fielder, and a right fielder. He's 28 years old. Let's see what his stats look like on the year. So he's playing in Houston. He's got 3 home runs. He's batting .235. So I don't know. I don't know if we really want to go there. Let's see if we can find a good left fielder. I think we go with that. So I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, no, that's minimum age. I goofed that up. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, let's try this again. Let's look for a good left fielder. Maybe we can find a good piece, make a nice trade, and try to get a little bit stronger out there in the outfield here at the break, at the trade deadline. So here's what's out there. These are the left fielders currently. And I think the important thing for us to look at is going to be contracts, right? So if we have anybody that's in maybe the last year of their contract or they have 2 years left, we might be able to make a deal. So I went after David Justice in free agency and could not get him. And he ends up having a pretty solid season. 17 home runs, 47 RBIs. That's going to cost us a lot. I don't know anyone that's going to want to make... I don't know if the Red Sox are going to want to trade him at this point. Manny Ramirez is playing for the Yankees. We tried to get him in free agency, and he also said basically piss off to us. We have... he's in year 1 of 8. So the Yankees have him pretty much locked in. Plus, he's making 22, almost 23 mil. So we don't want to do that. Darren Erstad, he just got traded to the Giants, so he's not going to be moving anywhere. Luis Gonzalez. We've got Felipe Marquez. We've got Shannon Stewart. I almost forgot about Shannon Stewart. We've got B.J. Surhoff. Who I didn't realize was a left fielder, but B.J. Surhoff. I thought he was a catcher. Oh, he could play catcher as well. Ryan Klesko, Felipe Marquez. Check him out. Okay, I like that. So my assistant GM wants to see Felipe Marquez. So Felipe Marquez, he is 20 years of age, a C potential. So he's still kind of growing. He'll probably stay right around where he is. We take a look at his current stats. He's got 11 home runs, 55 RBIs, 291 average. Okay. So not too bad. That's not awful for Felipe Marquez. Let's take a look at his attributes. So from left to right, so contact is not awful. He's great against right-handed pitching. He's an 80. Power's minimal, so good against, not bad against righties. He's really strong when it comes to durability, so that's good. Maybe he won't get injured like our other left fielders. And he's got some speed, and he can steal. He's at an 83 steal and a 62 aggressiveness. So I don't know. Maybe we go for him. What do you think? Throw it up on the board. If you think we go for Felipe Marquez in a trade, first things first, we got to take a look at his contract. So he's currently, he's in the last year of his contract. All right, so he's at $780,000, which we can afford. We definitely have that. But what are we going to trade? What are we going to trade for Felipe Marquez if we went for him? So he's on the board right now. Felipe Marquez is on the board right now. I think we're gonna shoot for Felipe Marquez. Keep that one in mind. Now let's see who else is out there. Albert Bell. All right, he's a 78 overall, 33. He's in year 2 of 3, so he is kind of available in a way. He brings us a little power, but we have a lot of power out there, right? We got Griffey, we got Vlad, so I don't know if we need more power out there. He's very durable, so I don't think the injuries will be a problem with him, even though he has dropped a little bit. And we know that, well, he could be out for other reasons. Let's see who else is out there. Troy O'Leary, who we had last year. He was an Expo last season. Actually, wasn't awful terrible. He had 23 home runs and 80 RBIs. But do we want to go down to Troy O'Leary avenue again? Garrett Anderson, who I always kind of liked. Chad Curtis. We already looked at Dimitri Young. He's already on the block. So how about Cliff Floyd? I think he was an Expo. I think we had him for a little bit. No, not in this world, but I know he did play for the Expos. So we got Glenn Allen Hill. He's actually a free agent, and that's why, because he's 35 and he's a B potential. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm kind of liking the whole Felipe. Let's see, what was his name again? Felipe Marquez. And sorry if you can hear the boys. The boys are walking around in here. The dogs are on the loose. Okay, so we're gonna see what we can do here. We're gonna try to make a trade for Felipe Marquez. So okay, AGM, JGM, whoever else is out there watching, because I got one or two more. If you could think of somebody we can move, or you think we can move to try to make this happen, then let me know. Right now, you see that bar on the top of the screen that tells you when we're getting close to kind of getting some sort of an offer done or a deal done, right? So let's go to, where do we have a overabundance of players? So we could dump some salary too. So Cabrera's making a ton, but we don't really want to move Cabrera, do we? Even though Mike Mordecai has been hot, and Howie Baroa is kind of on the move down there in the minors. We've got Evan Capps, who I think we're going to hold on to because he's a potential, and he's only 19. He'll be playing third base after Charlie Hayes. We could move like Jeff Blum, but it says that the Marlins are seeking a right fielder, a catcher, a third baseman, or a first baseman. So I'm thinking, okay, so they're interested in a Jeff Blum type of deal. Jeff Blum for Felipe Marquez, but that's a lot of money. I mean, that's kind of a rip, right? I mean, 3.7, Jeff Blum and his $3.7 million contract for Felipe Marquez at $780,000. Yeah. So let's take him off the board. Let's see what else we got. Where else are we a little heavy? Catchers. Ooh, God knows we have a lot of catchers. We could possibly get rid of Michael Barrett, right? He hasn't played at all. Plus, we have Paul LaDuca down there in the minors. So we could package. Let's see what they. Okay, so they're willing to make that. They're willing to talk. If we want Michael Barrett, right? Because we do have Bobby Hens. We've got quite a few catchers. So if we went Michael Barrett for Felipe Marquez, that's $11 million. They'd be taking on $11 million, right? But they can do it. They can do it. It actually would help us out a little bit. So they have Jim Edmonds too, but Jim Edmonds plays center field, which would actually be probably a little more even. But all right, well, I'm going to leave that one there for now. So we're talking about they need a catcher. We have Michael Barrett. Let's see if maybe we can do something money-wise that's a little bit better for them. So maybe if we go, okay, they're interested in Paul LaDuca. And Paul LaDuca hasn't played for us at all. Maybe a little bit. No. Yeah, he played a couple games last year. So, do we have anything? Yeah, he's a B potential. Do we really want to dump a B potential catcher, though? See, when it comes to this, I have such a hard time making moves. I really do. Okay, so I think we're going to do the Michael Barrett thing. Okay, I know it's a lot of cash, and I feel like we're kind of ripping them off. But we're gonna do it. To hell with it. I got nothing. I got nobody saying anything. Boom, there goes the deal. And we should be getting more value. Okay. Well, tell me what you want then. Oh, how about this? It'll suggest a trade. Boom. Select what type of players you want. We want MLB readies, right? Whoop. So we want MLB readies, and they don't want to give me anything. All right, let's try this again. Oh. Take him off the board. Suggest a trade. Okay, so here's what they want. Oh, wow. Wow, look at this. So there's one option. They want Vlad Guerrero and Trevor Hoffman for this dude. That's how we're going to get this deal done. And I don't know about you, but that ain't happening. I am not going to be doing that. That is not going to happen. So, Felipe Marquez, sorry, but you're not coming to the club. Sorry. I think we're just gonna roll. We're just gonna roll here. The way we are. Let's go here and go back to the season because I'm not gonna do any trades. We're gonna stick it out. Okay, so game 2 of the episode, we got Baltimore again. We had a 14-1 victory in the last game. We're at 60 and 49. Kenny Rogers, the roaster, is on the hill, and we're gonna get the win in that one. Excellent job from the roaster and the Expos. Boomer's on the hill. This is Sunday Night Baseball, so let's head into this one for sure. And we are going to alrighty. All right. So we'll be at home. Oh, no. Yeah, we're at home now. We're still at home. We've been at home, right? Taking on the Orioles in this one. At the Stade Olympique. Yes. And we're going to go right here to quick counts, just in case we have to actually go in and watch some baseball. Boomer will be on the hill in this one. Cabrera, Veras, Grace, Junior, Guerrero, not Guerrero Jr., Griffey Jr., Guerrero, Sung-Hyun Chu, Charlie Hayes, Pudge, and Boomer.
What's the play ball?
In this one, and here we go. Inning number 1, Boomer. And Pickering is going to lead off with, Meyer with a single.
He's safe.
We got a stolen base. Pickering is going to fly out. McGriff is going to single. So we've got first and third now in the top of the first. Sanders single.
3.
Klesko strikes out. Ripken is going to ground out. So it is 1-0. But they picked up 3 hits there in the first. Bottom of the first, Cabrera to lead off.
For the Orioles, now playing second base, number 11, Kemp Alderman.
Okay, so they made a change. They must have had an injury. And we got a ground out.
3.
Veras is going to strike out. Grace is going to ground out. So we're through the first.
3.
Boomer gets Webster, Ordonez, and Lantigua. Griffey Jr. now at the plate. He walks. Excellent job there. We're going to have him steal.
He's safe.
And he steals second. Vladdy's going to ground out. Chu is going to fly out. And Hayes will single. So we got first and third for Pudge. And he grounds out. So Pudge really has not been doing much of anything for this club. Boomer gives up a double to Meyer. Larkin's going to fly out. Was that Barry Larkin? Barry Larkin's playing second base. And he's backing up for the Orioles. See, we got to write these things down because maybe we could pick one of these dudes up in a trade. McGriff pops up. Sanders is going to ground out. Okay, so here we go. Rolling right into bottom of inning number 3. Boomer's going to lead off.
3.
He strikes out. Cabrera is going to fly out. Veras is going to single. So we got runner on first with 2 outs. Grace singles first and second. Ken Griffey Jr. to the plate, and he flies out. So Ryan Klesko. There's another left fielder right there. We could have gotten a trade, but trade deadline is up. So I think we're toast on that. Boomer ground out. I get Klesko to ground out. Here's my boy Cal Ripken Jr., and he's going to pop out, and Webster is going to ground out. So we're talking Mount Rushmore of our favorite baseball players. Yes, I would have to go. Cal Ripken Jr. for me is definitely on there. All right, Little League Baseball. I wore his number. I played on the Orioles. I am a Yankee fan to the bone, but there was something about Cal Ripken Jr. I played shortstop. I batted like him. When he changed his stance, I went right to the same stance he was doing. And if you're not familiar, I should say, with the Cal Ripken batting stance, Google it because it's similar almost every time, but it did change over time as well. So Vladdy's going to ground out. Sung-Hyun Chu is going to ground out. Charlie Hayes will ground out. Okay, so we are now through 4 innings. Boomer is only given up 1 run on 4 hits.
3.
And he gets the strikeout of Ordonez.
3.
Lantigua is going to strike out.
3.
Meyer's going to strike out. So Boomer gets 3 big strikeouts in the top of the 5th. Pudge is going to lead off with a ground out. Boomer grounds out. and Cabrera is going to fly out. So we're through 5. It's a 1-0 game. Larkin leads off with a ground out. McGriff flies out. Sanders singles, and that's going to put Klesko at the plate.
He's safe.
And Sanders steals second. So Klesko has a chance to do something, and he singles. So it's now 1st and 3rd for the Iron Man.
3.
And he strikes out. Okay, bottom 6 coming up. Kilvio Veras, and he grounds out.
3.
Grace is going to strike out. Ken Griffey Jr. hits a solo home run. Excellent. So it's a 1-1 game as Griffey Jr. finally comes up big for the club. Vladdy is going to strike out or ground out or pop out or whatever he did there. Lenny Webster against Boomer. There's a ground out. There's a single.
Pinch hitting for the Orioles, number 15, Javier Lopez.
So Javi Lopez coming to the plate. And yes, Javi Lopez, a favorite of some folks here in the household. And there is a fielder's choice, Burt Meyer.
He's safe.
So who stole? Ordonez stole. No, Javi Lopez stole second, which, okay, like that's going to really happen. And there's a ground out. Okay, so we are now in the bottom of the 7th. Okay, so we have our first answer when it comes to, looks like our Mount Rushmore. So we've got our junior GM. Now we had to have 1 pitcher, 1 outfielder, 1 infielder, and I guess we have a bonus player, right? So we've got 3 here because I don't even know how many people are on Mount Rushmore. I'm pretty sure it's 4. I don't know. So we've got Jacob deGrom. Oh, that's interesting. I like Jacob deGrom. He was a Met, right? I think he's with Texas now. Tatis Jr. and Ellie De La Cruz. Nice. So deGrom, Tatis Jr. and Ellie De La Cruz. Nice. Yeah, that's cool. I like Ellie De La Cruz too. Interesting character. Okay, so we are bottom 7. I'd love to hear the assistant GM's Mount Rushmore of baseball players. Right? I'd love to hear that one because I could probably go off on that one for a little bit. All right, bottom of the 7th, and it's going to be led off by Sung Hyun Chu.
Now
And
pitching for the Orioles.
Take your base. Ball
he's
4.
going to walk, so
Rocky
Sung Hyun
Sopala.
is going
He's
to
out.
get caught stealing second because, of course, he is. Hayes is going to ground out,
3.
and Pudge is going to strike out. So we are through 7 total innings. Do we leave Boomer in?
3.
Yes, we do, and he gets Larkin.
Ball 4. Take your base.
He walks McGriff, so we're going to take him out. Let's go to the bullpen here, and here's the call to the pen, and we're going to go to
Now pitching
Jeff Nelson.
Jeff Nelson.
3.
He gets the strikeout,
3.
and he gets the other strikeout. So great job from Jeff Nelson here in the top of the 8th. We're trying to get 3 wins in a row here against the Orioles, who have a great record here in the 2000 season. So Coppinger's on the hill. I don't know if that's accurate, and it is. Nelson, why did I leave Nelson in the hit? See, I got to pay attention to what I'm doing. There's a ground out. Cabrera's going to ground out. Is it Kelvio Veras? And he is going to ground out. So do we leave Nelson in? Yeah, he's still got some juice. He gets Ripken.
3.
He gets Webster. And Ordonez grounds out. So 2 good solid innings from Nelson here in this one. Bottom of the 9th. Mark Grace coming up to lead off the inning. He can end this thing with 1 swing of the bat.
Now pitching for the Orioles.
And they bring in Armando
Number 49,
Benitez.
Armando Benitez.
And Armando Benitez, man, that fight, I don't know if you could talk about that, but Google that one. That was Yankees, Orioles. I think it was Tino Martinez gets hit in the back, right in the back between the shoulder blades, and it just ignites this crazy fight. Boomer was there. I think Darryl Strawberry was there. Crazy fight. That's a cool one to see. It wasn't like awful, but it just kept on going. And I remember watching that game live that night. Okay, so Mark Grace is going to fly out. Ken Griffey Jr., who's already homered once in this game, grounds out. And
Ball 4.
Vladdy
Take your base.
walks. So we got Vladdy on base. We got Sung Hyun Chu at the plate.
3.
And there's a strikeout. Okay, so I'm sorry, Mr. Nelson, but you have to come out because 2 innings is kind of like your max. We're going to bring in, what do we got coming up here? We got righty. So let's go with Scott Shields.
Now pitching.
He could pitch an inning if we need him.
Shields. Pinch hitting for the Orioles, number 28, Stan Chow.
Stan Chow. They can't say Javier. They said Javier Lopez, but the guy can't say Stan Javier. He calls him Stan Chow.
3.
There's a strikeout. Good job, Scotty Shields. Meyer grounds out. Barry Larkin
3.
strikes out. So, bottom of the 10th, Charlie Hayes at the plate. I think we might see a little pinch hit from Tim Raines if Scott Shields comes. Well, he's going to come to the plate unless Hayes or Pudge ends this thing.
Now pitching for the Orioles, number 12.
So, there's a
Damian
double.
Scada.
So, do we let Pudge swing? All right, roll call here. I got a few people watching, so feel free to throw some up on the board. Let me know you're there. We have got a runner on second base. All right, it's a 1-1 game, kind of a pitcher's duel most of the time. Boomer looked really good in this one. And there is a single, and that's the game. So Pudge comes up big, and the Expos have swept. We have swept the Baltimore Orioles. Wow, that's big. 14-1, 1-0, and 2-1. So that could be a sign of something to come, right? We are now 62-49, heading into a 3-game series with the Seattle Mariners, who are kind of hanging around 500 at 58-54. So we can probably put them away. Okay, so the Mount Rushmore for our assistant GM, Pedro Martinez. That's your pitcher? All right, I could see that. Johnny Bench, and of course Tony Gwynn. Okay, yes. Tony Gwynn for sure. So for me, now that we got a couple of them up on the board, I gotta say for me, talking Mount Rushmore is a baseball. So, God, the infield part, that one's tough. Infield for me is so tough because, yes, I'm a big Cal Ripken fan. I got all his baseball cards. I got autographs. I got bats. I got gloves. I got everything Cal Ripken, right? But my my favorite baseball player at first one ever. He was my favorite. When I lived and died by the guy. Had to be Donnie Baseball. So I don't know if Donnie Baseball actually goes up there, but that's such a tie. That could be a tie. They might have to split that face in half. AI that thing, right? My outfielder for my Mount Rushmore, I probably have to go with probably Ken Griffey Jr. because of the swing, right? I mean, it just such a sweet, natural swing, and he was one hell of a player. Never got the World Series or anything, and had some injuries toward the end, so he didn't get to really do much when it came to records. But yeah, definitely Ken Griffey Jr. And my pitcher, probably Nolan Ryan. I mean, how do you have 7 career no-hitters but no Cy Youngs? That's a crazy stat right there. The guy had 7 career no-hitters. He had a season where he had 2 no-hitters, and he never won a Cy Young. And Roger Clemens has 7 Cy Youngs, but no hitters. So I think that would be it. If I was going to have, the 3 guys and possibly the 4th. I don't know if there's a 4th up there. But if I was going to have the 3 guys, it would be Nolan Ryan, right? And Ken Griffey Jr. And then quite possibly, it's such a tie. It would almost have to be like I put Ripken up there and then like all the bad guys from Superman 2, they fly by and they shoot him down and they put Don Mattingly. And if you know the reference for the movie, then you've seen Superman 2 because that's what they do. So our junior GM is saying his bonus player is Deion Sanders for baseball. I like that. Deion Sanders? Wow. I was always a bigger fan of Deion Sanders the football player than Deion Sanders the baseball player. Mainly because, so who's your fourth then, Mr. Feeney? You're saying you've got No Fear is saying he's got 4, but I only see 3, right? Yeah, see, there are 4. There are 4. I thought so, but I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, man. That's why I do this kind of stuff, right? So, okay. Anyway, let's get back to the game for a little bit, and then I'll come back to some of these comments. So if you are watching me live tonight, welcome on into the cave. It is 8 o'clock on the West Coast, and we are through about one series, as is normal here with the baseball. I get sidetracked when it comes to trades and moves, but we want to kind of fly through this tonight. So we might, who knows, we might just press the button and simulate some of it, but we will be, of course, naming a new player at the end of the night as well. So if you are watching live and you got some name thoughts, throw them up on the board. We'll be rebranding a new minor league player. We had a fun one last week, and he is actually a subscriber to the channel now, and he might stop by later on. I don't know if he's watching live, but if he throws a comment up on the board, we'll talk to him as we go. All right, so Seattle is in town here, and it's the Moose against Allen Price, and we're gonna take an absolute ass whooping. We lose 10-0, and game 2 we win 8-2, and then so we have an injury. Oh no, yes. So John Rocker is back, baby. So that gets us a setup guy. So we got to go right to our. So if not for, so Mr. Feeney, No Fear is telling me if not for steroids, Bonds and A-Rod could be up there. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, Barry Bonds for sure, right? I mean, like I understand the guy allegedly did what he did, right? I've never heard anyone actually say it was proven. That could throw a whole bunch of shade on this little channel here, but I mean, you got to hit a baseball regardless of what you're using, and it's not the easiest thing to do. So yeah, I don't share my opinion on that very often, but I do believe he should be in the Hall, and he could have a spot if my Mount Rushmore would just keep dragging on. But he would definitely be up there. He could be one of my Mount Rushmore guys. It's just tough to decide. I'd have to have a total vote. Okay, so rocking and rolling. We have our friend. Let's see. How do I get back to that now? Pitching rotation. Make sure he's back in here. John Rocker is now our setup man. He's back. So welcome back to the club, John Rocker. Hopefully you're healthy and you'll be able to go for the club here. We're going to go back to the calendar. So we go 2-1 against Seattle. We are 64-50, heading to Philadelphia for 4 games against a underperforming Philadelphia Phillies team. And we are going to... Okay, so, man, we have 27 players on our active roster. We're going to let them fix it. Okay, and so we lose 4-1 to the Phillies. We win 3-0. We win 7-2. So that means we have to go in and watch the Sunday game because that's what we do, right? And we're going to go ahead and hit play here. Okay. Quick manage. So we're in Philadelphia for this one. And I don't even know if this is the right. This should be the right stadium. I think they were there in 2000. I'm pretty sure they were. Okay, so let's go ahead and... Oh, so our Mount Rushmore based on intro songs. Yes. Yes. Okay, so I would have to agree there. Hoffman and Mariano Rivera. Yes. Absolutely. So here's an interesting little fanatic fact. So I actually went to quite a few Padre games when Trevor Hoffman was pitching. And I mean, a lot of Padre games. I actually went with one of my viewers here to quite a few, a couple of them that lasted way too long. But I never saw him pitch, which means either the Padres were blowing somebody out or they were getting the crap kicked out of them, because I never once got to see him actually pitch a game. So, yeah, that's kind of crazy. That's kind of a crazy little fanatic fact. A lot of Padres games and never got to see him pitch. Got to meet him a few times in person, but I never got to see him pitch, which would have been cool. I got to see Mariano Rivera. He actually pitched, I believe, in the World Series game that I went to. I got to see him pitch against the Padres in a regular season game. But yeah, I never saw Trevor Hoffman come in for a close. So, okay. So I'm kind of going that way, right? We're talking some sports games memories. So how about that one? Let's talk about first baseball games you remember going to. All right. So if you're listening to me, you're watching me live, feel free to throw it up on the board. What's the first, if you can remember who it was, where it was, and possibly maybe a player or two? Because some of us may have been pretty young when we went to our first baseball game, but throw that one up on the board. If you're watching me on the replay, over whatever period of time it is, comment, throw that up on the board. Let me know who your first game was, maybe who you saw play. Can't be any goofy shit either. Like not like a all 70s celebrity softball game, because I did go to one of those when I was a little kid, and yes, there are photographs of me and the guy who played Peter Brady. So yeah, that's true. That's the truth. But feel free to share your experiences maybe at your first ball game. And I'll be talking about mine here in just a couple of minutes when we take on the Mets, because that is who I got to see. So we have Javier Vasquez on the hill in this one, and yes, we're going to get to see a little bit of Timmy Raines. Kilvio Veras will be in. The managers decided to put Tim Raines in, Mark Grace, Ken Griffey Jr., Vlad Guerrero, Orlando Cabrera, Charlie Hayes, Pudge Rodriguez, and Javi Vasquez will be the batting order here. We are in Philadelphia. Douglas Cannon is on the hill for the Phillies, and let's go after him quick. And okay, so Mark Grace is going to get the double, and Griffey's going to hit a 2-run jack, so it's 2-0 in the first. Nothing like putting up some runs for Javi Vasquez. And there's a line out. Juan Encarnacion. Yeah, so Encarnacion makes me think of a movie and a song. And it almost makes me want to sing that song, but I'm not going to do it on YouTube. But yeah, that's from, what's the movie? Nacho Libre, right? Okay, so, and of course he hits a home run. Desi Relaford is going to ground out. Abreu strikes out. And Vance Martin. So it's a 2-1 game after one. We got a 2-run dinger from Griffey, and they got a home run from Encarnacion. Cabrera is going to single. Hayes is going to hit into a double play. Pudge strikes out. Jordan strike out. Estalella ground out. Johnny Zuba at the plate.
Take your base,
He
ball
walks. The David Duasta is going to... Oh, what was that? A strikeout and a throwout. Good job by Pudge. Javi grounds out. Veras singles. Raines double play. David Duasta grounds out. Cannon strikes out. Javi gets... I don't know who that was. Oh, I don't know who it was. I really don't. Mark Grace singles. Griffey triples in a run. Uh-oh. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Griffey Jr. has a home run and a triple. He could be going for a frickin' cycle. He could be going for the cycle in this one. And it's early in the game, so we got to pay attention to that. Because if he comes up and needs like a single or a double, we might have to jump in and watch that. Vladdy's going to ground out. Cabrera is going to sack fly. And Hayes. So it's now 4-1. We managed to get 2 runs there, and I wasn't paying any attention to what's going on. Oh, I'm catching the score, basketball score in the corner. Duke beats NC State tonight. So I believe Duke's number 1 in the country. So we've got SC State against Delaware State. And yeah, see, I get distracted by my own shit going on in the corner of the screen. All right, Desi Relaford to lead off. He grounds out. Bobby Abreu strikes out. Martin is going to ground out. Pudge the lead off. They bring in Jamie Wright.
Number 21.
Ground out.
Right.
Javi, right? Yeah.
Ball 4,
He
take your
walks.
base.
Do we let him steal? Do we go for a stolen base with Javi Vasquez?
You're out.
Ah, he got caught stealing. That was for fun. There's an error. Tim Raines singles, so we got first and third, and if Javi hadn't got caught stealing, it might have been a little different.
Ball 4, take your base.
Bases juiced for Griffey. So if Griffey doubles, he needs a single, and if he singles, he needs a double, right? Because that's just me saying, I got it.
Take your base. Ball 4.
And they walked him. So they walked in a run, and they set up Vlad Guerrero with the bases juiced, and he hits a grand slam. Oh, my Lord, it's 9-1. Oh, my Lanta. Orlando Cabrera coming up.
Now pitching for the Phillies, number 54.
And he grounds out. So, Javi, we're going to relieve you of duty early in this game because I don't think there's much of a need. We're going to go with... Maddox. We'll let him pitch 2 innings here. We got a 9-1 lead. If we blow this shit, I'm going to lose it. There's a ground out. There's a pop out.
Ball 4, take your base.
Zuba's going to walk, and here comes DeJosta, and he's going to hit it into a fielder's choice. Okay, so Garrett Stevenson is on the hill. Charlie Hayes to lead off. There's a single. Pudge, fielder's choice. Maddox gets an at-bat because he's going to pitch 2 innings. That's the deal. Veras singles. Tim Raines. Can you do something, Timmy?
3.
He strikes out. So Griffey probably can't get the cycle because they frickin' walked him. Unless we can have a big inning. If we get a big inning, we might be able to get this done. Garrett Stevenson
3.
is going to strike out. Encarnacion singles. Relaford flies out. Abreu grounds out. So good job from Maddox getting the job done here. That's 2 scoreless innings. He'll be coming out. We're not going to have him pitch the 7th. Mark Grace reaches on an error. So Ken Griffey Jr., he still has a shot at this cycle. All right, if you're paying attention here, he has a shot at the cycle. He's homered and he's tripled. So the 2 toughest things are out of the way.
3.
And he strikes out. So never mind. There goes that idea. Guerrero's going to fly out. Cabrera's going to fly out. So Mike Maddox, you're coming out. Thank you. You pitched splendidly. I did say splendidly. We're going to bring in Shane Bennett. Bennett grounds out. Martin grounds out. Jordan grounds out. Estalella grounds out. Okay, so we are now heading into the top of the 8th. We lead this one 9-1. This might be the most offense we've seen from this team.
3.
Strikeout Hayes. Ground out Pudge. Bennett grounds out. We're heading to the bottom of the 8th. Zuber,
3.
Dosta, and Stevenson singles. Encarnacion singles.
Ball 4, take your base.
Relaford walks. So Shane Bennett has walked the bases loaded. Goodbye, Shane Bennett. Welcome in Jeff Nelson. And he gives up a single and gives up 2 runs.
3.
And we get out of it. Okay, so we gave up 2. All right, but that's not really on Nelson. You know, Shane Bennett basically loaded up the bases. Kilvio reaches on an error. Tim Raines grounds into a double play. Tim Raines is 1 for 5.
Take your base.
Grace
Ball 4.
walks. Ken Griffey Jr. grounds out. Okay, so we're in the bottom of the 9th. Nelson's going to stay in, and I go right through that real quick, and we get the win. So excellent job. My least favorite players ever. That is, my junior GM wants to know who my least favorite player is ever. So quite possibly anyone who played for the Boston Red Sox. Yeah, unless they then came to play for the Yankees. So there were a couple of those in my time, right? I could think of 2 right off the top of my head. Wade Boggs, who came and won a World Series playing third base, and Johnny Damon. So my least favorite player had to be in a moment. There was one play that stands out, and I actually ended up becoming pretty friendly with this gentleman over the years. But there's one play, and it made him my least favorite player ever, and that would have to be the current manager of the Dodgers. It was the 2004 playoffs. He reaches first base. Everybody watching the game knows that Dave Roberts is going to steal second base, and he steals second base. The Yankees ended up losing that series. We were up 3-0, and we lost 4 straight to the Red Sox. And it all kind of started with the David Roberts stealing second base. So, yes, he would probably be my least favorite player. As a kid, Roger Clemens, when he was a Red Sox, did not like Roger Clemens. But then he came to the Yankees, so he was okay then. But, yeah, I think that would have to be it. You know, basically anyone who wore a Red Sox uniform at some point. Who's yours? Who's your least favorite player? Right? I would assume if you're a Padre fan, it's probably somebody who played for the Dodgers. So, but yeah, that's me. Any Red Sox player for the most part. Okay, so we did get the win here. Ken Griffey Jr. had a home run. We had a grand slam in that one. We win that one pretty big, 9-3. So on the episode so far, we swept the Orioles, right? We got 2 wins against Seattle, and we just took 3 out of 4 from Philly. So we have won 8 games in the episode. We are now 67-51. We're 16. Yeah, see, that's what I said. So, okay, I got to ask the question now. My junior GM says Shohei Ohtani. Okay. You must be a Padres fan. So I'm assuming that you are, based on the knowledge that I have, that you're probably a Padres fan. But yes, I could see that too. But Shohei, he's one hell of a player. He is one hell of a player, right? I mean, I'm not a big fan of the whole leadoff, the power hitter guy. I think the Yankees did that for a little bit with Aaron Judge, and it kind of messes with my mind because I'm old school, right? So if you're old school, yeah, see, I figured you are a Padres fan. But yeah, if you're old school, like for me, a typical leadoff man was not a power hitter. I mean, the best leadoff hitter of my time down here, their time up there. And if you get that reference, good for you. But of my time, it's probably Ricky Henderson, right? Speed, a little bit of power, and he could put it all over the field, right? Your power hitters usually batted 3rd or 4th, which is why you see in my lineup, that's the way it works. I could easily put Ken Griffey Jr. leading off and see if we can get a home run every time. But, if you want to explain that to me, feel free. The fanatic is old and doesn't understand some of this new baseball stuff. So we are heading to Minnesota after getting a win on Sunday night. We got 3 games against the Minnesota Twins. And Kenny the Roaster, yeah, baby, the Goonies, that's right. I can throw those out there all freaking day. I actually was watching a good one the other night. So I'm scrolling through YouTube, and I'm watching a 80s classic. It's got John Cusack, and it's called Better Off Dead. Loved that movie. My sister used to watch that. I'm like, I don't know, basically like network TV. It wasn't on cable TV, so they cut a lot of the bad parts. But that movie was a classic. If you haven't seen it, check that shit out. It's actually really funny for the time. A lot of it doesn't stand up now, but there's a lot of movies like that. Okay, so we're taking on Minnesota for 3. The Roaster is out there, and the Roaster takes the loss. Trey Moore gets us a win, so great job, Booma, trying to get his 11th win of the season, and he does. So how about that? So Trey Moore has fought his way back. He's back to 7-7 on the season. Boomer is at 11-7. So here's the guy that's been struggling. Like the Moose, he's taking on Chuck Finley. Yeah, Chuck Finley, right? Angels. I always think Steve Finley, but he played center field. He's taking on Chuck Finley here in this one. Yes, I want my $2. Yeah, that's right. So you get it. You get it. You get the movie. $2. uh, and then like halfway through the movie, like all the people that he runs into are asking if they can take out his ex-girlfriend. Yeah, that's pretty sick. Okay. Or the part where like they sit down at the table to have dinner, and then she brings out the dessert, and the dessert starts like sliding away on his plate. Oh, the mom is classic. The mom is classic. All right. Sorry, I'm still talking about Better Off Dead. So Toronto, we got 3 with them. We're gonna start off with the Moose against Chuck Finley. We take the loss. Javi Vasquez goes up against Danny. Is it Denny Nagel? Denny Nagel. We take another loss. So in the Battle of Canada here, baby, I totally missed this. The Spos and the Jays with almost identical records, 69 and 54, 69 and 55, and we get 1 win. So we're up. We got to 70 wins before the Toronto Blue Jays. Congratulations in the Battle of Canada. And we took one of 3. So we didn't win the battle, but we didn't win the war. We got one of the battles. So we're going to take on Houston for 3 now. I did skip over a Sunday as we're, about an hour and 12 into the episode. I'm trying to get through the month of August. And, we might just do a quick sim through the rest of the season. I don't know. It just depends on where we are as we get closer to the end of the night. Houston, we take a loss, a win, and a win. So we go 2-1 against the Houston Astros. We're going to head into the series with the Yankees. So this is a big, big series. Now, before we head into this series with the Yankees, we have jumped up to second place in our division. Okay. The screen that I'm looking at is like super small. So it looks like we are 72 and 55. We're 16 games back of the Braves, who are completely dominating the National League East. But before we get into the Yankees series, let's go ahead and take a look at the current standings and see. So National League East, we're in second place, all right? But we're 15 freaking games back. This is irrelevant. We're not even going to pay attention to this. Currently, the Reds are in first place in the Central. They hold a 5-game lead on the Cardinals. Out west, here's an interesting one. As was to be expected when we started the season, and if you go back a couple episodes, the National League West has kind of been just like the American League West with this roster. It's never really been anybody dominating as much as it has been just the first place team bounces in and out. So the Giants and the Dodgers are in a dead heat right now. So right here, middle of August, and they are in a dead heat for first place. That's going to be a really interesting race as we continue to follow these teams through the 2000 season. The Rockies are a shock, right? They're currently 3 games back, so they're right in this thing too. So anything can happen. And the Dodgers have actually gotten better since they traded us Bartolo Colon. So congratulations to the Dodgers, because I think you sold us a lemon in that deal. The wild card looks just like this. We are in right now. So this is the same situation we were in the 1999 season. We were about halfway through August. Things were looking up, and the team started to freaking tank. So we need to make sure we hold on. All right, we're not going to make any adjustments. We're going to hold off until we get to the September call-ups, and then we might bring up a player or 2 because we're kind of forced to do it. And we might even just bring up our little made-up players just to see if they have a little something. The American League East looks like this. The Yankees, just like the Braves, they are completely dominating. The Sox and the Jays are nowhere near them, but I'm sure they're close in the wild card. Now, the White Sox hold a half a game lead on the Indians and a 1.5 game lead on the Tigers. So just like the National League West, the American League Central is currently looking pretty tight. This could be an interesting little race here. In the American League West, you have the Rangers, who have that 3.5 game lead on the Mariners, and everyone else has basically mailed it in. The Brewers, the Angels, and the Athletics are way back, and they're not going to really stand much of a chance of getting anything done in the 2000 season. The wild card is where it gets kind of interesting in the American League. The Sox and the Jays hold wild card spots. The Orioles are right there. Mariners and Indians are kind of trying to hang around. So that could be something to pay attention to. Let's go ahead and take a look at our club right now. We'll look at our current stats and see who our leaders are now that we're heading into the dog days of summer in August, trying to hold on to the playoff spots. This might actually affect where we are with the lineups too. So we might make some changes to the lineups to see if we can get something done. We seem to be okay in the month of August. So I don't know if I want to change much, but games played. You have Vladdy Guerrero. At bats are Mark Grace. Runs, Mark Grace. Hits, Mark Grace. Home runs. Ken Griffey Jr. has 26 home runs. So he's already matched his total from last year. He's been healthy this whole time, and he's putting up some numbers, right? 290 average, 26 home runs, 79 RBIs. So he'll get to 100 RBIs on a season. I think that's pretty doable. And he'll probably hit over 30 home runs. So that's really what we got him for. Vladdy's right there as well. He's got 22 home runs. Grace has 19. So I think next year we might be looking for a little bit more power in free agency, possibly at one of the corners. Because our third baseman, he has a little power, but not a whole lot. Our RBI leader is Vladdy Guerrero with 79. Our stolen base leader is Kilvio Veras. Kilvio has 16. Ken Griffey Jr. with 14. Batting average goes to Mark Grace. So that's kind of where we are there. We take a look at our pitchers on the year. We've got Musina and Vasquez are winning. I'm sorry, are winning. Our winningest, no, they are leaders in wins with 12. Musina has 11 losses, and Vasquez with 5. So that's one hell of a season he's having. I didn't even notice that. He only has 5 losses. Saves, how about Trevor Hoffman with 30? Innings pitched. David Wells has pitched the most innings for this club. Games started. That goes to Javi Vasquez. Is it? No, I'm sorry. That's walks. See, I'm telling you, I can't see it. It's so small on my screen. I could make it bigger, but then I can't read your lovely comments. If I make it bigger, I can't read the comments. Strikeouts, that's going to go to Boomer with 140 Ks. ERA, Mike Maddox has a 5.65 out of the bullpen. How about Kenny the Roaster? My man, 1.64 ERA. And he has pitched in how many games? It doesn't say. I mean, I guess we can check. He has appeared in 18 games, and he has a great ERA. So that was a good call bringing him up. I guess we had no choice once Bartolo went down. So that's where we are here as we head into the, it's actually the Fanatic's birthday here in this world. Yeah, August 20th. Heading into, yes, that is my birthday. So naturally we're playing the New York Yankees. Bummer. Because I think that our winning ways could possibly come to an end here. But let's see. Thoughts. Okay, what are the chances that we come away with at least one win here? Post it up on the board. How many wins do you think we get here against the Yankees? They're 86 and 42. We're 72 and 55. I'm gonna hold this for a second. All right. Okay, so we're thinking we're going to get at least 2 wins, right? You think we get 2 out of 3 here? It's at home, so we could take down the Yankees at Olympic Stadium. Let's see what we get here. So our first one is Javi Vasquez on the hill against Hideki Irabu. 12-8 against Javi Vasquez. And, ooh, we got a win. The junior GM called it. That's one. Game 2, we got Kenny the Roaster against Rick Helling. I remember Rick Helling as a Texas Ranger. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was a Texas Ranger. And let's see if we can get the win here. Oh, we took 2. Can we sweep the World Series champion Yankees? Well, I don't know. They got Andy Pettitte on the hill against Trey Moore. So the 7-7 Trey Moore against Andy Pettitte. And you know what that means? That means we got to jump in here, and we've got to manage this thing. We're going for a sweep of the Yankees. The best team in baseball right now. The best team in baseball. And we're going to jump in, and we are going to see what we can get done. Thank you, the junior GM. You know, I got to be honest with you. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, that's not going to happen. And we picked up 2. We picked up 2 wins. All right. So we're heading to Olympic Stadium. We're taking on the Yankees in Game 3 of a nice little weekend series. And an early birthday present. A birthday present for the GM, as they got me a win here. They got me. I'm sorry, I just cussed. I dropped the F word. Bleep that out. But yes, they got me 2 wins. So, all right. So Trey Moore now is going to be on the hill here, and here's what we're putting up against this Yankees club. All right, we've got Varys, Reigns, Grace, Junior, Vladdy, Charlie Hayes, Cabrera, Pudge, and Trey Moore. And, of course, they have to have Andy Pettitte hit, which is going to be fun. He has to hit in this one. So we are heading into Tim Raines has not been able to handle left-handed pitching this year. Well, you know what? Suck it up. You're going for it, dude. I'm not doing this shit. They always do this, and they want to come out of the game. You know what? If you're tired, suck it up. Go to work. You're going to play.
Let's play ball.
Okay, so Chuck Knobloch is going to lead off for the Yankees here, and we get the out. Sawyer Vogelsang. That is not a real person. Sawyer Vogelsang. He's batting .224, 21 ribbies. And, yeah, he's playing right field. So, I mean, the Yankees had some crazy right fielders at times, but Sawyer Vogelsang, yeah, that's not a real dude. Ground out. And Bernie Williams. Okay, there's a guy. Okay, look, I'm a Yankee fan. Now, there's a guy. Bernie Williams, I don't think he gets his due. He was one hell of a player in the late 90s, early 2000s, right? That guy does not get his due. He really doesn't. Kilvio Veras is going to lead off for the Expos.
Ball 4, take
and
your
he
base.
Walks. So Andy Pettitte, we know he had a great pickoff move, right? The lefty. Tim Raines is going to hit into a fielder's choice.
3.
Grace is going to strike out. Griffey against Pettitte, and he doubles in a run. So the Yankees, I'm sorry, I'm so used to saying my team's name. The Expos go up 1-0. So we're looking for the sweep. We are looking for the sweep. And we get the ground out. So Trey Moore against Derek Jeter. Look at Derek Jeter's numbers. All right. So that is one hell of a stat line. This entire basically 3 seasons of a simulation, Derek Jeter has been a monster. 26 home runs, 85 RBIs, and those numbers are low compared to the first 2 seasons. He hit like 56 home runs in the first season and had like 148 RBIs. So he's having an off year in this year of the simulation.
3.
He strikes out. Ramirez grounds out. Tino grounds out. So young Trey Moore has been getting it done. He's getting it done early in the game. Charlie Hayes grounds out. Cabrera grounds out.
3.
Pudge strikes out.
3.
Posada with the strikeout. Scotty Brocious with the single. And Padre fans, oh no, Scott Brocious. Sorry, Padre fans. Pettitte is going to sack him over. Chucky Knobloch grounds out. So Trey Moore, he's holding it down.
3.
And he can't get the hit. Veras grounds out. Timmy Raines is going to reach on an error.
He's
He's going to steal second. Grace is going to fly out. So Tim Raines was saying, I can't play. I don't hit left-handed pitching. He reaches on an error and he steals a base. So he's contributing. He contributes. Sawyer Vogelsang is going to hit a single.
He's safe.
And I don't know what just happened. Did he steal second? He did. And ground out.
Ball 4. Take your base.
Walk.
Take your base. Ball
Walk.
4.
So bases loaded now. We need a double play. Tino hits into a fielder's choice. Can Trey Moore get out of this mess here in the top of the fourth? He does. Oh my goodness. That was good. He gets out of it. Ken Griffey Jr. now grounds out. Vlad pops out. Charlie Hayes is going to ground out. So it's a 1-0 game, top of the fourth. We're trying to sweep the New York Yankees. Again, the best team in the league right now. And we're going for the sweep. All right?
That hit him. First base.
He hits Brocious.
3.
Pettit strikes out. Knobloch singles. That moves Brocious to third. Vogelsang is going to pop out. I can't, I'm just picturing me in the 2000s sitting there talking to the guys in the shop and saying, dude, did you see Sawyer Vogelsang's home run last night? Where do they come up with the names for these guys?
3.
Bernie is going to strike out. All right. Cabrera flies out.
3.
Pudge strikes out. And Trey Moore is going to ground out. So it's a 1-0 game. Derek Jeter pops out. Manny grounds out. Tino singles. Can Jorge move him over?
3.
No, he strikes out. So we've got a pitcher's duel again. Andy Pettit, Trey Moore going at it here at Olympic Stadium. There's a double to lead off for Veras. That means we're going to have... So good job by Timmy Raines. He's going to bunt him over. Mark Grace, come on, give me that run. How about a little insurance? And he does. He gets the sack fly. So we've got a 2-0 lead.
3.
Griffey strikes out. So here's the question now. Trey Moore he's weakened, right? We have to take him out. So I'm reaching out to my viewers out there. Okay, these are the options we have. Do we go with Nelson in the 7th, Rocker in the 8th, Hoffman in the 9th? Okay, let me know what you think. I'm thinking I'm thinking Nelson, Rocker, Hoffman to pitch these next 3 innings and see if we can't get the shutout. Throw a thumbs up in the comments or something if you're out there watching. Okay, so my junior GM is telling me to bring in David Wells for 2 innings. You want me to bring in David Wells to get the win? He's pitching the next game, right? Isn't he pitching the next? He's starting the next game. So he's not really in a bullpen. I think he's just down there on the list because he is an available pitcher. But that would be, I don't know. I think we need him to pitch the next game. If this was a World Series, I would do it. If it was a World Series, I would definitely do it. If we're in a Game 7 situation. So, yeah, I think we got to go. You know what? Let's see what we got coming up. So we've got Brocious. They're not going to have Pettit bat. He's not going to bat. So we got basically righty. So I think we are going to go. I think we're going to go righty. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, that's what they're going to go. Righty. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna go with Embry here in the 7th.
Emery.
So he's coming in.
3.
He gets a strikeout.
Pinch hitting for the Yankees. Neil.
He gives up a single,
Eubanks.
and then he gives up a 2-run home run. Jesus. Oh, I should have listened to the junior GM. I should have gone with Wells. Okay. So we are going to. Now we're in trouble. So there's nobody on base. We have one out. We're going to take him out because he screwed up. And we're going to Nelson. And I should have gone with Nelson in the first place. He gets a strikeout and a ground out. Okay, so it's a 2-2 tie. We're heading into the bottom of the 7th. We have some power coming up. Vladdy's going to lead it off, then Hayes, then Cabrera.
Now pitching for the Yankees.
Ramiro's coming in
Number 55,
as a setup.
Ramiro.
There's a fly out.
Mendoza.
There's a single. So we've got Charlie Hayes on first. Cabrera's coming to the plate. He hits into a fielder's choice. Can Pudge get us? Can he get us something? One swing of the bat? No. Okay, so Derek Jeter. Oh, Derek's going to come in, and he's going to ground out. So Nelson is still out there because I don't want to bring in Rocker. We need him for a setup situation.
That hit him.
Manny
He's got
gets
first.
hit by a pitch. Tino grounds into a double play. So thank you, Tino. Perfect. So question out there, if you're watching, are you by any chance having a hard time hearing me right now? Because my panel is going nuts over here. Okay, so Jeff Nelson is not going to hit. We are not going to let him hit. That's not going to happen. We're going to go to good old Bobby Hens.
Bob Henley.
Bobby Hens, the original Expo from the crappiest team that we've had so far. The first team, the original Spo himself.
Now pitching for the Yankees.
And he grounds out.
12,
You know, I'm hoping
Steven
that one day I get to throw out that
Rodriguez.
beautiful Bobby Henley intro and he just comes up and hits a jack. Because he's going to be here for my entire time until he retires. That is a guarantee. I will pay him just to sit on the bench. And he's going to be here. He's not going anywhere.
Ball 4. Take your
So
base.
they walk Kilvio. And Tim Raines we need something big from Tim Raines. And he grounds into a fielder's choice.
Out.
Then he gets caught stealing second. Okay, so Bobby Hens is going to have to come out. And we're going to go to a long relief. We need a long relief. Shane Bennett has been horrible. So Greg Swindell, welcome
Greg
back in.
Swindell.
He's going to face Jorge. Jorge grounds out. Brocious grounds out.
Pinch hitting for the Yankees.
Brooke Fordyce
Fordyce.
is going to ground. Oh, he flies out. So we are going, okay, bottom of the 9th. We have 3 opportunities to go deep here, right? We have got Mark Grace, we've got Ken Griffey Jr., and we have Vlad Guerrero with an opportunity to end the Yankees and sweep. Sweeps, baby. That's right. Sweeps. Let's see if we can get it done.
Now pitching for the Yankees.
Oh, and look who's coming in.
45.
The Sandman himself,
Rivera.
Mariano Rivera, is coming into the game, and that could be it. We might not see any more hitting from this club. Ground out for Grace. Griffey Jr., ground out. Vladdy, ground out. So Mariano comes in. It wasn't really a save situation, but he gets the job done for the Yankees. We're going to leave Greg Swindell out there. He gets Knobloch. And Sawyer Vogelsang. Can he be the hero? No, he grounds out. Bernie Williams grounds out. So I don't know if you're paying attention to the lineup, but Derek Jeter is up next in the next inning, assuming we get there. We have not much of anything on our bench to get anything done here, but we're going to allow
Ball 4. Take your base.
Charlie Hayes is going to walk. So we might need to pinch run. Who do we have to pinch run? But do we have a guy to play third? Oh, Mordecai can play third. So I think this guy can actually run a little bit. Yeah, he can. He's got 85 speed and 50. So Terry Jones, you're going to be running.
At first base. Number 9.
So we're going to play a little small ball here. We're going to try to win this thing old school, right? And we're going to have good old Orlando Cabrera, who we know can swing the bat. We're going to have him bunt, and he grounded. Okay, but he got the runner over, so good job, which means Pudge will get a chance to hit. We're going to let him swing away.
3.
And he strikes out. Oh, for frick's sake, Pudge. Okay, now Greg Swindell. He's coming out. So we don't have much to pinch hit with. We have Sung Hyun Chu. We have Jamie Carroll. And we have Mike Mordecai. Mike Mordecai is going to have to go in and play third because Jones can't. So we have Chu or we have Carroll. And we're going to go with Chu.
Sung Hyun Chu.
Can Sung Hyun Chu be the hero, the savior? Can he do it? No, he grounds out. Okay, so it's time to go back. So this is quite the battle here, isn't it? It sure is. Derek Jeter can change things real quick because we know what he can do with the bat. We need a pitcher here to come in, and we're going to go with Scott Shields.
Scott Shields.
And Scott Shields gives up a single to Jeter.
He's safe.
Tries to pick him off. Manny Ramirez gets a single. Martinez
Take your base, ball
walks.
4.
So the bases are loaded for Jorge Posada. The Yankees have blown this thing open here. We're going to take Scott Shields out. And we're going to go with... Oh, we do not have much of a choice. We have Bennett, Maddox, Rocker, and Hoffman. And we're going to Rocker. John Rocker comes in, bases juiced.
Ball 4, take your base.
And he walks the first batter he faces. And then gives up a grand slam. So that is going to do it here. We go, and I just simulated right through that. I wasn't going to sit through that shit. We give up 5 runs after bringing in John Rocker and the Yankee. I think we're done. Unless we can get some sort of heroic, crazy ass shit happening here. If you're just joining the broadcast, we are in Game 3 of what could have been a sweep of the Yankees, the best team in the league. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Now pitching for
They're bringing in Scott Carl, and we know what he can do. He gives up a triple. Did I say Scott? Did I say Scarn? Like Michael Scarn? Yeah, that's an Office reference. And there's a single. So we got a run. Excellent job. Griffey flies out.
Ball 4, take your
Vladdy
base.
walks. So if Terry Jones can go yard here, we have a chance to get within 1 run. And he strikes out. And Terry Jones was playing third base. I totally forgot about that shit. I need a little help. I need a little bit of help. Okay. So we didn't get the sweep, but we take 2 out of 3 from the Yankees, which tells me that we have a pretty good team because the Yankees are good. We're going to take on Philly, and so we get a win, we get a loss, and we get a win. So have we won every series except for the Toronto series? We have won every series we've played tonight. So good job. We do not see that very often. Let's see if we can get to 80 wins to close out the episode. We've got 4 with the Braves, who we know are freaking amazing. And then we have 3 with the Mets. So we'll close out with those 7 games. So we beat the Braves. We beat the Braves again. Oh, man, I thought we were going for the sweeps. Okay, so let's see if we can keep this little stretch going, right? We have a chance to win another series here in the month of August. I thought August was going to be way tougher, but the Expos are proving to want to win here. And we win. So we just beat the Yankees 2 out of 3. We beat the Braves 3 out of 4. We're heading to New York to take on the Mets. All right. And as promised, so I did mention earlier, we were talking possibly first trips to a ball game, right? I didn't see anybody put anything up on the board, but I'll talk about my first experience at a baseball game. Now, I'm a Yankee fan, and I've mentioned that many times here on the channel. But as a young kid, my father, Pops, as I'll call him, but Pops was a huge Mets fan, okay? And he had his reasons. He was a Yankee fan for the longest time, and the owner of the Yankees did some stuff, and he became more of a Mets fan, started following them, which kind of made me a Mets fan by family connection. And my first Major League Baseball game, they took me to Shea Stadium, and I got to see the 1986 Mets. So I was probably about 6 or 7 or 8 or 9. I'm not going to give away my age completely, but Yes, I got to see Keith Hernandez and Darryl Strawberry. But what I remember most about that game was they were playing the Philadelphia Phillies, and the Philadelphia Phillies had what at the time was a power hitting third baseman by the name of Mike Schmidt. And this dude jacked a few home runs in that game. And we actually got to see Dwight Gooden, who that year was like Dr. K, all the K's up on the board. And but that was my first experience with Major League Baseball. And that was a lot of fun. I remember being there. It was blazing hot. It was probably late July, early August. And being there with my sisters and my parents. And that was back when you could go to a game for about, tickets were probably, I don't know, $25 for the whole family. And, you get one soda and a popcorn and a couple of hot dogs, and you just shared, and you make your way through it. Now, if you try to go to a ball game, I don't even know the prices. I haven't been, well, I shouldn't say that. I took my dad to a Padres game, and it cost us a shit ton of money. And this is going to age me right here, but I went to the concession stand, and I bought 2 hot dogs, 2 sodas, and a popcorn for me and Pops. And I paid what I paid for it, and that is what it is. But the guy who literally turned around, grabbed 2 hot dogs, a bucket of popcorn, and filled a soda, wanted it. He was like asking me for a tip. Anyway, I can go on and on about that. But we've got 3 games to play with the Mets. So if you're listening to me live, feel free to share your first trip to a ballpark. Your first experience with a baseball game. If you're watching on the replay and you've made it this far, go ahead and throw yours in the comments too. I love to read them. Or if you know me, you can just shoot it to me and we'll talk about it next week. But so that's mine. My first Major League Baseball game was the Mets game. And it was a fun one, because they did end up winning the World Series that year too. So, okay, so the Mets, and we get a win against the Mets. We now have 80 wins on the season. So we are in the month of August, and we have 80 victories. I think last year we had like 85 or 86 wins. So this could be a playoff team. At this point, this could be a playoff team. And we've got 1 up on the board. So first game, a Reds game. And, oh, wow, you saw Johnny Bench and Pete Rose play? That's sick, dude. That's sick. Johnny Bench must have been like, that must have been the end of his career. That had to have been like his last season or second to last season. It had to be. But Pete Rose, that's great. I wish I'd seen Pete Rose play. I mean, I saw him play, watching him on TV, but I wish I had actually seen him play in person, because that was my style of baseball, with the hustle and the diving. And I mean, that's where that's how I played. I dove head first, and I felt like if I didn't get dirty at the baseball field, that I didn't play. I didn't play the game. But okay. So our junior GM, you got to sit front row, third base, I assume at a Padres game. That would be my assumption, that you got to sit at a Padres game. I did have a fun one where I took my daughter to a Padres game, and and someone yelled at you to sit down. Yeah. Yeah. Well, come on. I mean, you're tall. You're a tall kid. You're not that tall, though. So we've got, let's see. So Kilvio has sustained an injury, a torn calf. So he's now out 2 months. So now we lose Kilvio Veras. All right. But we're getting close to making our September call-ups. So we might just be bringing up a shortstop. But that's going to affect the lineup, right? For sure. Let's put him on the 60-day and go to our lineups. Losing Kilvio is going to hurt. That's going to hurt. So who's gonna fill in? Well, Mike Mordecai I think that means we're gonna have to put You were 3. Yeah, you got told to sit down because you were probably against the wall. You were probably. I'm sorry. I just assumed you were older when. Okay, all right. I mean that's kind of like the story with my daughter. So we took we took our little one to the game. First time she was probably I don't know a year. And we got to go see the Yankees and the Padres at Old Qualcomm, and that was the Derek Jeter, Gary Sheffield Yankees. That was a lot of fun. And then I did get to see A-Rod's last season. I went with a group of my friends from work, and it was pretty interesting when he played against the Padres. And but yeah, so okay. Anyway, getting back here, so we lost Kilvio Veras. He's going to be out. We are getting towards the end of the episode. I got about 10 minutes left here, so I want to try to get through this. But we put Jamie Carroll in his spot, and he'll fill in there. No, he's not going to play there when we don't have a DH. So that's going to hurt this team, right? That's going to hurt this team quite a bit. So, oh, Lord. So no DH. We want to go no DH. That's what we need to work with. So, oh. Everybody moves up. So Mike Mordecai will bat there. Let's go here. No DH. I don't think we have too many American League games left. So, do you think that's dangerous to have? Do you think that's dangerous to have Tim Raines leading off at his age? Could be. I think, well, let's see. Against left-handed pitching, we know he's not good. Let's see how Terry Jones is against lefties. Yeah, he's not good either, really. So we're just going to leave it the way it is. All right, Timmy, you need to come up big. If I see Tim Raines' name pop up here and we lose him, that's really gonna suck. That's really gonna suck. Okay, so okay. So the Expos have 25 players on their active roster. We must have 28 after September 1st. Okay, so we have to bring some guys up. We need to bring up 3 guys from the minors. So let's go here and feel free to tell me who you think we should bring up. We got some guys down there. I think we just bring up Von Winklehinkle or whatever that guy's name was from last week. We'll bring up Hamilton Porter, and maybe one other guy. Just to throw him in there, give him a little bit of chance to see some action. I don't think it counts as rookie years or anything like that. They're just coming up for the call-up. So let's see what we got here. I think we got to go with people from the 40-man roster, which is kind of a bummer, but we can do that. What do we need here? What do we have down there? Let's go with Paul LaDuca. Welcome to the majors. And so he's a catcher. He could play another position too. At the call-ups. What else we got? Michael Barrett. He could play third base. And he's got a pretty hot bat right now. So the AAA is going to have no catchers because we just took both of the catchers from the AAA team. And here we go. We've got... Who else we got? Howie Baroa. He's batting 2. These guys are better than the frickin' guys on our actual team. Who else we got? Eric Gagne. He's not been good. Ted Lilly has not been good. Jeremy Powell has not been good. Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson can come up and come out of the bullpen. Guillermo Mota. Yeah, his ERA is shit. Okay, let's go with... All right, Mike Johnson, welcome back to the majors. We'll put you in the bullpen a little bit. So we bring up basically two catchers. Two catchers are up now. And you know what? To hell with it, right? No. Do we put them in the lineup? Yeah, we're going to put them in the lineup. We're going to put these guys in the lineup. So here's what we got. So we've got an actual bench now. We've got Sung Hyun Chu. We have 1, 2, 3 catchers because every team needs 4 catchers in their lineup. So Laduca can do nothing but catch. Bobby Hens can do nothing but catch. And Michael Barrett can play third base. So I think we're going to, let's see, Charlie Hayes, come in 258. Michael Barrett. Well, let's just go with this lineup for a little bit, and we'll see what happens. So we get the win against the Mets. So I think we just got a sweeps. Yep, we sweeps the Mets. So this team has been on a roll. Let's go ahead and take a look. We are now 11 games behind the Braves. So we picked up 4.5 games on the Braves after handing them their ass in that series. Heading into the month of September now. We just made the call-ups, and we have... Ooh, yes! At 82 and 58, we are +5 in the wild card. So this team could be making a run to the playoffs, and it would have only taken us 3 seasons to get it done. And yes, the Fanatic does a lot of talking, and sometimes he's not paying attention to what he's doing, but these off-season moves, the trades during the season, while, you know, one of them has kind of fell apart, the Cologne deal fell apart, Rocker's been coming through and getting it done. So, yeah. So I think we're going to do this. I think we're going to get to the playoffs. We'll know after next week. So take a look at the calendar. So next week will look a little bit like this. So we're going to be taking on the Florida Marlins, who, as we know, are kind of right behind us in the standings. We'll have 4 with the Mets, who we just swept. And we kind of basically ended their hopes of anything happening. We'll be taking on the White Sox, the San Francisco Giants, the A's, the Marlins again, and then we finish out the season. Yep, we finish out the season with the Atlanta Braves. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 series next week. So this team has, well, what is that? 21 games left, 22 games left to go, and then we get to see. Let's go ahead and take a look. So the junior GM wants to know when Bartolo Colon is healthy. So we got about 5 minutes, so we can take a look at that good stuff. Ask me questions. Now's the time for me to answer you right before we shut her down for the night. So the injured list looks like this. Kilvio Veras, he's going to be out 1 to 2 months. So we won't see him again. He's out for the rest of the season. Ricky Henderson is obviously out for 108 more days. And Bartolo Colon is 151 days. So we will not see Bartolo Colon again until next season. So that's a bit of a bummer. That is a bit of a bummer for the team. So, but we did bring up Mike Johnson. So hopefully he can get something done out of the bullpen for the club heading into September. And we'll get to see if maybe LaDuca, really hoping we can use those guys off the bench in pinch hit situations. But I'm thinking 8, maybe 9 wins in the month of September gets us that playoff spot. I don't know about you, but I think that's what I think that's all it's going to take. So let's go ahead and take a look. Now that we're through the month of August, we're heading into the final stretch with this club. We're going to take a look at the league leaders because that's always a lot of fun. Then we'll review the schedule for next week, and then we will head out for the night. So, of course, we are a National League team, so we don't give 2 craps about what's going on in the American League. We want to take a look at the National League. So your batting leaders right now. We've got Mark Grace. He's in 3rd, but leading the National League is Edgar Martinez. He is currently batting .353. So to lead, Chipper Jones right behind him. Well, not right behind him. He's at .324. So how about Edgar Martinez? Right, that was a big deal. He came over from, from Baltimore. So he left Seattle after that first season when that team kind of fell apart. He went to Baltimore, and then he went and joined the Big Red Machine Part 2 because these guys have been great in this simulation, making it to the National League Championship 2 years. I'm sorry, winning the National League Championship the last 2 years and then losing to the Yankees in the World Series. We've got our hits leader is Edgar Martinez, naturally. Mark Grace right behind him. Only 2 behind him. So congratulations to Mark Grace. Maybe we can actually get another little trophy. Tony Womack leads the league in at-bats. In doubles, triples is Robbie Alomar with 7. Vlad Guerrero has 6, so he's right behind him. Chipper Jones leads the league in home runs with 34. Sammy Sosa with 32. Albert Bell with 30. Look at that Cubs lineup. Freaking stacked. Right? 32, and then Jim Thome with 25. So the Cubbies they're a powerhouse, man. But they must have some awful pitching because they're not really good. They're not very good. Sammy Sosa is your RBI leader with 94. How about Vladdy with 87? So he'll probably get to 100. I think he gets to 100. We have a little race there. Could be him or Griffey. Runs, Sammy Sosa. A lot of Expos. Are you seeing that? Mark Grace. Kilvio Veras, who's now injured, so he'll be out of that race. Stolen bases, Tony Womack with 47. Edgar Martinez walks, base percentage, slugging percentage, OPS, and then we get into pitching. So Javier Vasquez leads the league and wins. 15 wins, 5 losses. And if it wasn't for the ERA, I think he could be a Cy Young candidate. And we've had him towards the middle of our rotation, mainly because we brought in Bartolo. He got hurt, and then we had to make some changes at the All-Star break. But he's been pitching great in that spot, so I don't think we want to move him. Matt Morris has the fewest number of losses. Saves, Chad Adams. Douglas Cannon, ERA. So not a lot of Expos pitching other than wins, right? David Wells, shutouts with 2. Lucina with 2. Strikeouts. Here's a fun category. Kerry Wood. Kerry Wood has 225 Ks. The next closest is 186. So he's killing it in strikeouts. Greg Maddux is your complete games guy with 3. Levon Hernandez. Now, okay, there's an interesting. Now, how many complete games do you think there would be in the now? Right? That's why I would love to see these guys, these pitchers, come into the now. We had this discussion at work one day. I love to sit and talk to the younger guys about sports because the Greg Maddux kind of guy, they'll be like, he throws it 85. He gets shelled nowadays. And I say, probably not, because these guys wouldn't be able to hit it. He'd be throwing. It wasn't that he threw slow. He hit his spots with slower pitches. And, he was striking out legends. I don't know. There's some ridiculous stat. I think it might be Tony Gwynn who never struck out against him. I don't know. Something like that. Levon Hernandez leads the league in innings pitched. Rich Kelsey is your walks. Wait, does that mean fewest walks? Yeah. Kirk Reeder, whip, which is walks and hits per innings pitched. And I just learned that last year. I didn't know what that meant. But they'd be like whip, 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 whip. And I was like, what the hell is whip? There's only one thing I know about whip. That, a little whipped cream on your ice cream. Or Edgar Martinez back to batting WAR. And yes, the WAR thing too. I love this stat. Wins above replacement. I enjoy listening to people talk about it. Saw this really cool YouTube video where the guy kind of took Barry Bonds' career and broke it down year after year. And that's where you really get the feel for Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame, right? Because his WAR is nuts. And he was so good early, even before he was a Giant. He was so good. His stats were amazing. And that's what really kind of, for me, puts him over the top. And but that WAR stat is really interesting. If you ever get a chance, just, I can't remember the guy's name, but if I can find it, I'll put it in the link. I'll put a link in the description down below. But okay, so that's kind of where we are. This team is hot. Okay, we end this episode 82 and 58. And if I'm doing my math correctly, that's 140 games that we've played so far. So that means we have 22 games to go. And we are trying to keep this team on track for a playoff run. So if you have made it through the entire third season of the Expos, if you've been watching since the beginning and you basically sat through the garbage that was the first season, we're growing. This team's getting better, and my AGM, my JGM, you guys have come up huge and helped me add some players to it. So once again, if you made it through the entire episode, thanks for joining me. It's been a whole lot of fun tonight. I know it started off a little bumpy. Had some issues with the setup, but it's getting better and better and cleaner and cleaner. So we are still working on some basketball stuff. Had a huge following. Well, for me, I had a huge following as I was doing the Knicks live rebuild from the 90s Knicks. So lots, I really want to try to do that again. Maybe on my next day off. I don't know when that'll be, but when I have a day off, I'll do that again. So feel free to throw some comments, thoughts up on the board. I'd love to get some ideas for some really cool basketball sims. Whatever it is you think we can do here on the channel, I would love to see that. So next week we get through the month of September and hopefully a playoff run. Hopefully we'll get a playoff run. We're going to quick sim right through September. See if we can't lock up that playoff and roll through it. So, I have a hard time wrapping it up in case you can't tell. I usually kind of keep going when I shouldn't. So Wednesday night, we will be here live again. We'll be doing Whaler Wednesday. That team continues to grow as well. I think we are in our final season with the club, as quite a few of those friends have moved on. So, but we will build a new team. So if you're watching me live, feel free to throw some ideas and thoughts for new team names, new team players. I will build out a new NHL team and kind of start fresh, keeping some of the legends of the Whalers on that club. And then, of course, continuing on with the baseball. So thanks again for joining. Be sure to like, comment, and, of course, subscribe. Currently at 64. Would love to be at 70 by the end of this week. And, I can only do that with your help. So share the videos, talk about the videos, and be sure to participate next time you're in. So thanks so much for joining, and I will see y'all next week hopefully Wednesday night, but probably next week inside the cave.